You mentioned the toughness and connectivity, and the team that sort of comes to mind right now that is Miami. Like these guys, they just won't. Even when they're down 4 with 1:10 to go yesterday, you always feel like they're going to figure out how to come back and do it. Are you guys? We've had a million guys from that team on this show. We have a correspondent, Duncan Robinson, on this show who plays for that team. But are you guys surprised at how they've been, because that's a bunch of new pieces. I mean, Jimmy's his first year there, how they've been able to sort of figure out that connectivity so quickly?
We shouldn't be surprised. You know, what Spo, his track record speaks for itself, the culture, Pat Riley. I mean, this has been years and years. But, like, let's be honest. Take a step back. Like, let's think about, you know, before Christmas or last summer. Like, Miami's this close to winning a championship right now. Like that, I don't think anyone was predicting that. So it is a testament to them, you know, their player development, you know, the way they've built their roster, the way they took someone like Jimmy, who, you know, Jimmy has this like weird reputation that not everyone's on board, but he's clearly an incredible fighter, teammate, winner. You know, they were like, no, that's our guy, you know, and they built with him. And that, like, that's a sign of a great culture, is when you can identify exactly who fits you, instead of like, you know, I think he's a fit, right? Like, though they know clearly he's a fit, he's not. This is what we do. This is our system of behaviors, and that is why they've just kind of like accelerated so quickly. I mean, I think they also won COVID. You know, like they seemed the most prepared mentally, emotionally, and physically coming into this in many respects. They took the biggest leap on a whatever it was, 3-4 month hiatus, which is incredible, and that speaks to their culture as well. You know, like I mean, look, they could lose 4-1 to Boston. Boston's a terrific team, but they're this close, like, to winning a championship, and it's incredible. And so, you know, here's the way I looked at it. I looked at the start of the year, I thought probably the Clippers are the favorite. You know, I have a deep roster, a lot of versatility. You know, they have a lot going for them. 6-man, 2 potential 6-man candidates. You know, there's so much outside of Kawhi and PG. But I always said all year long, there is something about this Lakers team spirit, you know, that is so – I think those are the intangibles that mean so much, that connectivity. And if you have strong connectivity, all of a sudden you're tougher than you appear to be on paper, you know. And so that glue, that feeling that they have, you know, is more so than the talent. What's making the Lakers great, what's making, you know, obviously Miami great, but you know, those are also characteristics of Denver and Boston, you know. So you get to the Final Four, and some of these intangibles are so important, and we're seeing it on display right now.
I've thought about Bam's block like 50 times today. The sheer physics of it actually don't make sense to me. When you look at the angle of his wrist, where the ball was positioned over the rim, and the force with which Jason Tatum tried to dunk that basketball, it actually just doesn't make sense to me that ball did not go in.
It's not normal.
It's not normal.
It's not normal. It's not human. You know, I think, like, if I got into the physics of it, I think, like, it just looks like his wrist is there. But really, his mass, like his center mass, jumping, strength, power, is informing how much force that wrist. So he's an incredible athlete, strong, and his body moving, I think, represents a lot of the force that we don't notice. So it looks impossible, but he's such an athletic, strong, physical, determined player that that's the only way I can see how it's possible that he didn't break his wrist, one, or get flushed on. I mean, so the other thing that makes it almost more believable for me is I feel like Amari had a block like that at San Antonio in the playoffs, where it was like he literally blocked a dunk without touching the rim, you know, with his hand almost in the rim. Like, I would snap every bone in my arm if I tried to do that, you know. Like, I don't, like, it's not just the wrist, fingers, wrist, forearm, you know. So I it's an incredible play, and it's cool to see a game won on a defensive play like that, you know, instead of a 25-footer or a fadeaway or whatever.